kick right in front of the goal, and it's in.
Back in, cuts to his forward, take the shot, he scores!
Ball tonight as the Class AAA regular season title is up for grabs, kind of, I'll explain in a moment, between Peters Township and Bethel Park. PT in the white, BP in the orange, the third and final regular season meeting between these two squads. Peters Township has claimed the first two, but they'll have to win the final one if they want to add another number, another year to that division title banner across the way. It's simple as this for the Indians. 2 points tonight, whether it be in regulation, overtime, or a shootout, and they win the regular season for the second consecutive year and the fifth time this decade. And they also set themselves up, just as importantly, as the number one seed in the upcoming Penguins Cup Class AAA playoffs. As for Bethel Park, which has won 8 in a row to put itself in this position, a victory in regulation definitely clinches the regular season championship, and that's all we have to know for right now. It could end up being a three-way tie, though. Bethel Park does win in overtime or a shootout, as North Allegheny technically right now holds the number one spot. The Tigers polishing off their regular season with a win yesterday over Butler 5-2. So right now the standings sit with North Allegheny in first, Peters Township in second, and Bethel Park in third. North Allegheny has 28 points, Peters Township has 27, and Bethel Park has 26, where Peters Township and Bethel Park have something in hand on North Allegheny is tonight's game. So they have the advantage of playing last, and they know what they have to do. Of course, knowing is only half the battle, or less than half the battle, in a high-stakes collision like this one. For head coach Rick Tingle and his Indians, they've been in first place for a while now. They started the season 2-2, but they've gone 11-1-1 since then. And only just yesterday, just last night, were surpassed by North Allegheny in the Class AAA standings. PT has lost just 3 times on home ice, but they did fall in their most recent game on home ice, at least in league play. That was against Erie Cathedral Prep 3 weeks ago. They bombed Mount Lebo 8-3 2 weeks ago. Heading into their bye week, there was a senior night presentation, some senior night festivities last Sunday as they hosted Meadville in a non-league matchup. Meadville, by the way, won that one here, but that did not count in the league standings. That one was merely to try to keep this team sharp. I know that some rest is always welcomed at this stage of the season, but at the same time, you do worry about sharpness. So we'll see how Peters Township comes out for this one. Bethel Park on the other side of the ice is also coming off of a big win against Mount Lebo. 10-1 victory at the Spencer Family YMCA for the Blackhawks, coached by Jim McVeigh. Ryan McClendon had a hat trick. Thomas Wooster had 2 goals from the blue line. And the big forward duo of J.C. Bell and Vince Vituccio, they combined for 2 goals and 6 assists. So the number 2 offense in Class AAA in Bethel Park is humming big time coming into this one. They've scored 5 goals in each of their last 3 victories, and I mentioned they've won 8 in a row. Peters Township, well, they've been churning them out recently too in terms of the offensive production. They lead Class AAA with 4.3 goals per game. I mentioned the 8 goals against Mount Lebo 2 weeks ago. Heck, their low point in the last month was 3 goals against Erie Cathedral Prep, and even in that one, they had 3 one-goal leads. So they've been in a position to win each and every time they've been out there on the ice. In Bethel Park, they have won every game since December 20th. And in fact, Bethel Park's last defeat was against Peters Township up at the YMCA in Bethel Park, just off campus. So these two teams are very well acquainted. 2 matchups on the season. And even though that game finished 4-1 in favor of Peters Township, the most recent meeting between these two, Bethel Park still launched 43 shots, and Alex Wilbert stopped 42 of them in net for Peters Township. And we're about to find out who the starting goaltender is. That is some serious intrigue this season for Rick Tingle's Indians. And it appears it will be Alex Wilbert who'll get the fist bumps here as he hangs out in net. Wilbert, the junior, will make his 10th start of the season against 8 for Brock Sharbaugh, the senior. Wilbert with the second best save percentage in Class AAA with a .931. He has an 8-1 record. He's got one win against Bethel Park in the bank. I mentioned that 42 save performance back on December the 6th. It's been a while since he's faced the Blackhawks, but he knows them about as well as you can know a squad here in PIHL high school hockey. We're set for the drop of the puck. I'll get the starting goaltender for Bethel Park in just a moment here on Pittsburgh Hockey Digest and PTCT 7. Well, we're moments away from the biggest game of the Class AAA 2018-19 regular season. I'm happy to be here with you at the Printscape Arena in South Point, the building formerly known as the Isoplex, the former practice home of the Pittsburgh Penguins for so many years before they moved up to Cranberry. And Cranberry is the goal for these two teams, both of whom have legitimate title aspirations, but that's the postseason. For right now, it's the regular season, just as meaningful in a lot of ways. I mentioned PT has 9 division titles in the regular year, 8 of those this century, 4 of those this decade. Down to my right, as promised, the starting goaltender for the Bethel Park Blackhawks is Nick Guimond, the junior, starting for the 17th time out of 18 games this season. The puck is dropped, and we're underway. I'll get you Guimond's numbers in just a bit as Seth Hanna pops this one off the far side wall. And here we go with John Camp on the chase for Peters Township, but it's an icing call here as the dump-in occurred from behind center red. For Guimond, a record of 13-3, an .883 save percentage, but a 1.97 goals against average. How does he pull off that bit of mathematics? Well, his teammates in front of him do a great job. Bethel Park really limits opponents when it comes to chances and shots. They've given up just 17 per game, as now it's backhanded right in front of the Peters Township net, but intercepted and cleared out to the line. Here's Schwartz knocking down this attempted play forward by Ryan McClendon. PT won both regular season matchups in the span of 3 weeks back before the new year. Ryan Lee, one of the alternate captains for Peters Township, one of over 10 seniors in the lineup tonight for Rick Tingle. Here's Camp now. John Camp flipping in deep. On the chase here, trying to get past Jacob Lang, but Lang wins the race to the puck. Bethel Park in the orange, clearing it up the near side wall, trying to turn around and knock it out the center was J.C. Bell, the leading scorer in Class AAA. Couldn't make anything happen, so he heads off the ice on a quick change in lines. Aiden Alexander shovels it past Ryan Lee on the far wing. Luke McClendon knocked it down to the corner. Hanna couldn't clear. Wrist shot from McClendon, and he missed the top right corner by about a foot. Alex Wilbert watched that one go by him. Now here's Mark Lehman, the junior centerman, 12 goals on the year. Lifted on the far wing. Watsula cuts to the middle. Nico Watsula, senior centerman, first year full-time in the varsity level. Hands off to Eric Wilbert just outside the blue line. He'll dump it into the far corner. Here's Connor Price now for Bethel Park. Giving over to this near side. PT gets in front of that one. Play bogs down on the near wing. Minute and a half into this game, no score. Peters Township and Bethel Park. Winner, for the most part, will take the Class AAA crown. For the regular season, at least, and take that number 1 seed into the Penguins Cup playoffs. Owen Barrett, he's played in every game so far this year. He drives it up in the direction of Watsula, who deflects it into the far wing corner. Bethel Park tries again to get it going. No shots on goal yet in this one, as this bounces in behind the Peters Township goal line. No icing. Aiden Alexander, head up. Banks a pass too far for Drew Wilbert to take. It's Alexander knocking it up through to the red line. Dylan McElhaney, the sophomore. Good pass against the grain. Finds Drew Wilbert in the left corner. Wilbert's backhand. Doesn't connect to the front. Wilbert on it again, though. Starts the cycle game here. McElhaney, the rangy forward. Off to Jeffrey Poon. Now far side. Barrett shot. Save made by Guimond. Rebound. Oh, a quick whistle. The Indians put it in. It was Wilbert, but play had been stopped with 14:37 to go in the first. Oh, goodness, that puck was still loose. And Drew Wilbert thought he had the first goal of this game, but not to be. Puck was bouncing around at the feet of Guimond. Guimond, who was pulled here in his only start against the Indians in this building this season, back on November the 20th. Seekley to the front, and a relay pass over there to Parker Johnson, who drove it on net. So 2 shots, 2 saves. Guimond is in the game. Jeffrey Poon, the senior defenseman, steps 2 from the half-wing wall, shot it over the glove of Guimond. It caroms over to the far point. Hunter Ferguson tried to drive it toward the front. That was broken up, and here comes J.C. Bell back with it. Bell, good move, he's in alone. J.C. Bell backhand, and he scored! Bell put it through the legs of Alex Wilbert, and it's 1-0 Peters Township. Bell with his 14th goal of the season and his Class AAA leading 32nd point with 14:11 to go in the first period. Bethel Park has the opening strike. In seldom in hockey can you say it's all one player, but it pretty much was for Bell, who took that breakout pass and went one-on-one, winning that battle and then backhanding it through Wilbert, who was down on the ice offside here against Bethel Park. That was Thomas Wooster looking to maneuver in over the blue line. Well, Bethel Park playing to type. Now the Blackhawks have outscored their opponents 19-9 in the first period. PT, meanwhile, has been outscored in the first, 11-10. It's the only period in which they have been outscored, and they've buried teams in the second and third. All year it's been a matter of getting through the first for Rick Tingle's Indians. After that, they've been downright dominant as you can be at this level, pretty much. Ryan Lee trying to clear, and he does. He gets it over the glove hand of Vituccio, but here's a whistle in the neutral zone, a hand pass called by the referee Schultz, and we get a stoppage in play with 13:43 to go in the first period. 1-0 Bethel Park on a J.C. Bell breakaway goal with 14:11 to go in this opening frame. John Camp facing it off against Vituccio, the captain for the Blackhawks, and Vituccio won this one back into his own end. But that's where the Blackhawks run into some trouble here. Camp tried to flag it down. Indians can't touch it, or it'll be a hand pass, and now it's tossed up into the screen and out of play. I mentioned North Allegheny winning last night by the score of 5-2 over Butler. That's put the Tigers in first right now. These teams are now trailing. Bethel Park was in the middle of the standings for a long time, but they've really turned it on in the last 2 months. They've not lost since the holiday break. Camp had it poked away from him. Hanna drives one right through the top of the crease. Guimon let it go. Lee, maybe a shot pass there behind the net. On the hunt there was Jeremy Anthos, the leading assist man in Class AAA. Couldn't make anything happen offensively, so Ryan Lee is back to get it. Lee from behind the net. His backhand finds center ice, but just barely as Jacob Lang cut it off and put it right back into the Indians' side of the ice surface. Torrey Schwartz, 14 goals on the season, second on this squad, to Ryan Luppe, who's got hat tricks in 2 out of 3 games. It's Ryan Lee looking to rip a shot that's off the stick of a Bethel Park defender. I believe that was Thomas Wooster, and he deflected that into the netting over the high glass down to my right. Again, this is Matt Geico on the play-by-play call for the 16th time this season. We made 16 out of 18 games this regular year, and we'll have all the playoff games for you on Pittsburgh Hockey Digest Facebook page. Clean face-off win for the Indians. Barrett's backhand off of Lehman and in behind the goal. Battle's on there. It's 2-on-2. Ryan McClendon trying to pin it there. He'll get some help from Merkel. Tries to backhand it out to center, and he will. So the Indians restart at center red. Alexander made sure he wasn't guilty of icing, fired it in deep. Now Alexander will hold here at the near side point. Trying to kick it ahead. Here's Watsula. Bounces around and out into neutral ice once again. Headman pass for Thomas Wooster. The defenseman breaking in. 5 goals on the year. And he's denied there by Wilbert with a sharp glove hand with 12:06 to go in the first period. Wooster leads the defense corps with 5 goals for this Bethel Park squad. He had 2 goals against Mount Lebo. That 10-1 win for Bethel Park. Appropriate considering how hot this team has been. Homer Road put in front of the net and a whiff from Joseph Wondrisco, nearly making it 2-0. Shot through a screen, loose puck in the Peters Township zone, and Jack Zakin helped break that up. Here's McElhaney, cross-rink pass. Deflected away from Drew Wilbert, but here's Zakin on it. Zakin throws it right through the slot, hops over to Seth Hanna, couldn't put it on net. It was blocked there by Adam Slater. Slater, the defenseman, now working there in the corner with the forward Wondrisco. Couldn't clear. This is Ferguson knocking down the wood. Zakin to McElhaney, shielding the puck. Zakin drives it out to Ferguson. Shot through traffic, redirects in behind the net. Zakin takes a bump, made the play off to McElhaney. The grind line out there, if you will, for Peters Township. Drew Wilbert tries to force an errant pass, but could not. Wondrisco hands it ahead to Vituccio. Backhand off the blocker of Wilbert and settles into his glove. A bit of a nervous moment there for the junior netminder. Alex Wilbert, as a freshman, anchored this squad as it went on to the Penguins Cup and State Cup championships. That year, the Indians finished hot. Last year, they were good all the way through and winning the regular season. A deflection and a score! A point shot went off a stick and into the net off the near side post, and Bethel Park has a 2-0 lead with 11:11 to go in the first period, and it might have been Jeremy Bueller. He celebrates first. His teammates made sure to pick up the puck for him, so I think it is his goal, and if so, it's his first at the varsity level. Bueller redirects the shot from the point. And PT's in trouble here at home in the final regular season game of the season. Down 2-0, same position they were in at Mount Lebo 2 weeks ago before they scored 6 in a row on their way to an 8-3 win. And nothing unfamiliar for Peters Township. Now they're saying Austin Reed on the official announcement, but now the way the Blackhawks reacted, I have a feeling it's going to go to Bueller, but I suppose we'll find out after the fact if there are any corrections made to the score sheet. You can find all that at PIHLhockey.com. Luppy connects on a pass down low, and it hops right over the net as Camp tried to deflect it in. Out to the line. Hanna couldn't get the shot through. It was blocked by his opposite number, George Tomko. Hops free, but the Indians are on it again. Schwartz, the give. Luppy shooting, blocked by a pair of Blackhawks. Luppy gets it right back and sent it over the top of the net. 2-0 Bethel Park. Now 10 and a quarter to go in the first period. Luppy wanted to connect there to Schwartz in the slot. Couldn't do it. Camp, 5 goals in 5 games. Gave to Luppy with a shot. Save made Guimon. Back out to Lee shooting, and that's blocked by a sliding Blackhawks defender. Tomko can't clear. Lee looking to hand it off. Can't find a man, and it's chopped over to this near side and does bounce out to center, but just barely. Good shift for the Indians to try to come back. Seth Hanna, a stick handle and a pass up this near wing that's intercepted now by Connor Price of Bethel Park. Shot across corner. Garrett Leggs on the chase. Lee headed him off at the pass. J.C. Bell joins the fray. Lehman lays a check. It comes over to Ryan Lee, the senior defenseman. Couldn't clear past Price. Price tosses it aerially and behind the net, now centered in front by Bell, but broken up by the Indians. Luppy came back defensively. Now Luppy getting a stick in the way of that centering pass and nearly caromed it anyway. So the Blackhawks looking dangerous in their offensive possessions. Legg swatted it down the wall. Taking it off the Dasher's Bell, but he's checked off the puck by Lehman. Good strong move there by the junior center. Lehman shot in. Indians trying to change behind the play. Peters Township trails at 2-0 here at home. Wooster took a false step, but he'll get this puck right back on the headman pass from J.C. Bell. Wooster let it drift off his stick up ahead. And here's Brady Seekley, or pardon, Aiden Alexander, I should say. Alexander, the dish on the far wing to Watsula. Lehman backtracking, gave it away to Wooster. But here's Owen Barrett taking over for PT. Good lead pass, finds Watsula up ahead. Into the right circle, Watsula pulls up on his forehand side. Looks to make a pass, but it's behind the intended receiver, Eric Wilbert. And dished down the ice by the Blackhawks. This will be an icing call against them with 8:21 to go in the first period. 2-0 Bethel Park over Peters Township. Very early going here. Bethel Park trying to pick up win number 14 and take the regular season title on the final day of competition in Class AAA, at least as far as the top teams are concerned. The top 3 seeds still to be decided, as are the all-important 8th and 9th seeds. Those 2 teams will play off next week, as the top 7 squads in this 9-team league will have the week off, waiting for their turn in the Penguins Cup playoffs. Bell rambling back, but his shot's blocked by Ferguson. Bell got to his own, redirection behind the net. J.C. Bell, Pittsburgh Predators teammate, along with several of these Indians. He's checked hard by Zakin. Clean play, rules the officials. Poon back to get it. Drives it in the direction of Drew Wilbert, who helps it on to center. Shot right back into the mix by Connor Price. 7 3/4 minutes to go in the first period. Ferguson got rid of it quickly. Wilbert, the toss play, looking for McElhaney up ahead. McElhaney was checked down by Price and flipped out to center and right back into the possession of Jeffrey Poon, but he couldn't make a play. Lost it there for a wrist shot by Luke McClendon that's swatted down by Wilbert. Luke McClendon has it again. Fed it on out to the point. Here's a long-range shot that's deflected wide. That was Bueller trying to get it through. Wilbert flushed it to the neutral ice. Zakin takes a check, doubled over his own bench, but he kicked it along. And Vituccio intercepting at center ice for Bethel Park. Long-range shot, a good one, but it snapped down easily by Wilbert. 7:02 remaining in the first. Bell and, by my eye, Bueller have scored here in this first period for Bethel Park. The official announcement on the second one was Reed, not Bueller. Peters Township coming back after a week off from league play. I mentioned they did play Meadville in non-league action. Meadville of Class Single A. PT and Meadville have a little thing going where they play a game at least once every season. And PT also competed in the Meadville tournament last month and won it, in fact, with a couple of their big guns missing. This is Reed behind the net for Bethel Park. Bumped by John Kemp, one of the more tenacious players you'll see in PIHL hockey. Alexander overwhelmed there. His teammates left him on an island, and Reed takes it away. Shoved in front. It's Toth looking for Reed, and it's off a stick and right to Torrey Schwartz of Peters Township. Schwartz's pass a little bit ahead of Alexander. Couldn't make anything of it. So PT has to retreat. It's Ryan Lee rounding his net. Lee with his head up. Makes a little pass here to DiNardo, the senior. Stripped to the puck at center, and it's Bell. He's behind Alexander, J.C. Bell, and he couldn't make a move to the backhand this time. Alexander hounded him from behind and legally. But the Blackhawks looking for their third goal. Drive from the point, bounces around. Jacob Lang took that one, and Bell tipped it into the corner. Bell's after it here. It's 1-on-2. Bell against DiNardo and Alexander. Colin DiNardo came out of the pack briefly with it. But now it's Bell again settling in behind the net. Looked like he wanted to do a lacrosse move from behind. And what's the call here? A penalty away from the play. Maybe a couple of penalties. Referee Schultz says interference is the call. And I just see one penalty box door opening. It's going to go against Bethel Park's Garrett Legg. An illegal pick set high in the offensive zone will send PT to the power play down 2-0 with 5:38 left in the first. Again, interference the call. Leg to the box. Garrett Legg, that is. That'll send the Indians' first-ranked power play unit on the ice. PT hasn't had a lot of opportunities, but they've converted on exactly a quarter of them, 8 out of 32. But here's a shorthanded chance now for the Blackhawks. Moving on back is Wondrisko and shooting from the right dot, and Wilbert has that, and he melts it down. Wondrisko upset at himself that he couldn't pick a corner on that quick developing 2-on-1 shorthanded. Bethel Park has 4 shorthanded goals. PT's allowed only 1 on the season. They've been good in that area. And the power plays come on. In fact, both areas of their special teams have come on late in the season for the Indians. Their penalty kill is now 3rd out of 9 teams. Mark Lehman pushes the puck ahead of himself, using that long reach to his advantage. Shot it in deep. The scrum is on there in the far corner. Plucked free by Drew Wilbert with help from his brother Eric. But Mark Lehman gave it away in the slot to Vituccio, who sends it down 200 feet. Wilbert's on it there from behind his net. Lifted it off the top of the dasher board. Drew Wilbert, head up, but he had his pass interrupted by Wondrisko. Wondrisko putting in a great penalty kill shift there. Under 5 to play in the first. PT looking for its first goal of this game, down 2-0. Watsula avoided a hook there at center, but lost control of the puck. Now Lee whiffed on the pass. He'll have to regroup, and PT would have been offside, so Lee let go of the puck. On that far wing, it's Lucido sending it up this near side, and now it caroms over into the far corner where Lehman settles it down. 48 seconds to go on this power play. A couple of the Indians look up to the board to see where they stand. Center-mounted scoreboard here at Princescape. Not a terribly common thing at a lot of rinks in high school hockey. Vituccio tried to clear it around the wall, taken there by Wilbert. Drew Wilbert, that is, on the ice here with Lee. He sends it in behind the net. Lehman assessing his options. Fires it a little too far for Eric Wilbert, but he catches up to it before the blue line. Wilbert skating out to the left point. Now it's Lee from right point shooting, and easily gloved down by Guimon. No further play. Indians looking a little bit sloppy on this power play with 3:43 remaining in the first period. 15 seconds to go on the power play. 2-0 Bethel Park, if you're joining us late. 7 o'clock start, Tuesday night hockey. We know that Peters Township will play someone here in 2 weeks' time in the opening round of the Penguins Cup playoffs. Now bouncing around here after the face-off win. Alexander's shot hit a shin pad. Alexander tees it up. No, he'll dish off to Luppy, the Indians' captain. Down low to Camp. Camp cross rink, broken up. Bounces right back to Camp. Power play's over. Indians are 0 for 1. Schwartz knocks it out to the line. There's Hunter Ferguson returning it to Schwartz, or at least trying to, but Price on the intercept. And he sends it away. Down the ice, Bethel Park survives. Goals from Bell and Bueller have the Blackhawks ahead 2-0. Late stages first period at South Point. Luppy, the dish on back to Ferguson. Near side Alexander. Finds Camp breaking in over the line. Sean Camp got around a man. Camp made a pass back against the grain, and it's in the skates of Luppy, and he couldn't take it. Ferguson drove it into the near corner. Camp helps it along, but taken away by Nicholas Masseri, and out to center it caroms. Luppy revving it up again for Peters Township. His backhand toss finds the ice in behind the Bethel Park goal. Indians changing behind the play. McElhaney on the intercept, fresh on the ice. Wanted to find Parker Johnson, but the pass is away from him. Johnson, the senior, recently committed to Robert Morris University to play varsity golf, that is. McElhaney shooting down low. It's off the bottom of the glove of Guimon, but no harm there, as the Blackhawks will be able to clear. Thomas Wooster did the job there, just inside the blue line. And now driven up this near wing by Ryan McClendon, taken by Owen Barrett. 2:15 to go in the first period. Bouncing puck avoids Parker Johnson. Turning to clear that one was Wooster. Back out to this near wing. It goes through Barrett and apparently didn't touch it. It's an icing call against Bethel Park. Bethel Park averaging nearly 4 goals per game. Peters Township, the only team in Class AAA to get to the 4-goal-per-game mark this year at 4.3. Both teams good defensively. BP the second best team by goals against per game, and Peters Township the third best. Two powerful squads, each of whom probably feel like they have a good chance of raising the chalice in a month's time up at the Lemieux Sports Complex in Cranberry. And lest we forget, the state championship is on the west side of the state this year at the Armue Island Sports Center. Big opportunity for whoever comes through the bracket. And this is the final regular season game, but a banner's on the line here tonight. Parker Johnson giving to the middle. This is McElhaney pulling it in. Dylan McElhaney, long-range shot. Guimon has no trouble with that one as he gloves it down head high in the butterfly position. 1:32 remaining in the first period. As I said at the top of the broadcast, a win of any kind for Peters Township delivers the regular season championship to the Indians. For Bethel Park, a little more complicated. They have to win in regulation, or else they leave North Allegheny still alive for the top spot. We could have a 3-way tie at 28 points if Bethel Park wins in overtime. So a long way from that, of course. Just want to lay those contingencies out there for you so you're not surprised. Vituccio couldn't clear through Eric Wilbert. Eric Wilbert still poking at that puck, trying to create something on the abbreviated forward check. It does come free to Mark Lehman at the red line. He turns and whistles one ahead. From behind the net, it's Bueller. Bueller bouncing. Lehman ran over J.C. Bell, the Blackhawks, and we're going to have a penalty, and it's interference again, and it's again against the Bethel Park Blackhawks. And it's against the captain. Vince Vituccio's headed off. So power play number 2 coming up for the Indians. Bethel Park, not a very penalized team this season. In fact, they're the least penalized team in Class AAA, but they've taken 2 here in the first period. It was an immediate response to the Lehman check, I believe. Just to give you some perspective, Bethel Park's leader in penalty minutes is Chris Toth with 18. That's 18 in 18 games now. So yeah, this team does not spend a lot of time in the box. And they are the 6th best penalty killing unit in the league. They allowed 7 on 27 chances. Just 27 chances against in the first 17 games. Now 29, counting this game. The battle is on. Schwartz steps up to try to keep it in the offensive zone, but driving it off the glass is Ryan McClendon. Couldn't get it past Ferguson. Down to 30 seconds to go in the first period. The Indians of Peters Township looking for a goal late in this opening frame. They're down 2-0. John Camp searching for that loose puck. Overskated here. Camp, and now Luppy down to 18 seconds. And it's cleared past Ferguson by Bethel Park's Austin Reed. It'll take a quick up here from Seth Hanna and Ferguson if they can manage it. They may elect to stay cautious here if it's not there. Down to 5 seconds. Luppy, he can be a one-man breakout, but he just leaves it there for Ferguson, and time will expire in the first period from Princecape Arena in South Point. So, if you're a Bethel Park Blackhawks fan, you have to love the way this one's going. Goals from Bell and Bueller have the Blackhawks ahead 2-0 after period number 1. Not a lot of chances for Peters Township. That's got to be encouraging for Bethel Park, too. Typically, PT peppering the opposing goal. But as I said, a slow starting squad this year. The real challenge is coming up. Shots on goal, looks like 8-5, according to the official scoring here. So, to my point, not a ton. 8-5 in favor of Bethel Park, I should clarify. Last time out, PT had 52 shots, a season high, against Mount Lebo. Ryan Luppy had his second hat trick in as many games. Jeremy Anthos had a goal and 3 assists. Torrey Shorts had 3 helpers. That top line was absolutely dominant. But so far, Bethel Park living up to its reputation. They've given up just 17 shots on goal per game coming into this one. And they're on pace to beat that. They've held the most potent offense in Class AAA to just 5 shots in the first period. If you're unfamiliar with PIHL regulations, there is no ice cut after the first period. It's just a quick huddle up at both benches and then right back to it. So for PT, maybe they'd prefer to keep things going here, keep things in the rhythm with the power play underway. Next week, the Penguins Cup Championship begins with the first round, the play-in game between the 8 and 9 seeds. As of right now, it'd be Butler and Cannon Mac. Cannon Mac, which plays its home games here, as you might know. Here's Mark Lehman taking it. Second period underway. PT trailing 2-0 on home ice. Seth Hanna has a power play goal this year. Makes sense, he's out here on the advantage. Has to hand off to Watsula as BP's forecheck, shorthanded, is rather aggressive. Luppy left it behind, gets some help there. But again, the Indians having some trouble getting into the offensive zone, and they just give it away there. And it's shot down the rink by Ryan McClendon, right on goal. Alex Wilbert knocks it down. A half minute gone in this second period, a half minute to go on this second power play of the game for Peters Township. Watsula couldn't move it quickly enough. The Blackhawks just have a little bit more jump. Their 6 are a little quicker right now. Watsula, the handoff to Hanna. Hanna pulls up, deep in his own end. Headmans it to Lehman, who backhands it right past the Blackhawk. Here's Luppy with Schwartz going to the net. Couldn't make the play, but Lehman kicks it back into the corner, and there's Luppy on it there. Luppy turning, giving out to the point, winding up his Hanna. Pass it to Schwartz, one-timer from outside the left dot, and it's bodied down and stopped by Guimon. And nothing further from that. 15:54 to go in the second period, and the power play is over. Austin Reed escapes the box. Bethel Park is a perfect 2 for 2 on the PK to start this game. So Zakin will take the draw with the Indians down a deuce here in what almost amounts to a winner-take-all game. And now breaking on ahead, and what is the stoppage in play here? The horn accidentally went off with Bethel Park on a 2-on-1. Oh my goodness, it appears some sort of a malfunction down there in the scorer's area. Robbed the Blackhawks of a great chance. And Jim McVeigh is beside himself on the Blackhawks bench. Wow. Talk about home ice advantage. It appears the clock now is continuing to run. Referees Schultz and Buckholtz are talking things over. I can't explain it. That's the first time I've seen that this season in a game here at Princecape. Well, thank you to everyone who's tuned in right now as they figure things out. Down below, I see Judy Barrett and Byron Zeidel, Nick Malenka, Chris Werner. Hello to one and all for tuning in. Melina Young, Logan Biddle, and my good friend Brian Mitchell, who makes all these broadcasts possible, along with Alan Saunders. They're the founders of the Feast over there at Pittsburgh Hockey Digest. I don't know what's going on here. They're still trying to figure out the clock. It's stopped dead now at 15:18 to go in the second period. And, well, there's no way to recreate the scoring chance for Bethel Park outside of giving them a face-off in the offensive zone, which I think is what's going to happen here. So Peters Township, a sluggish start to this one. Down a couple to the hottest team in Class AAA, the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Both teams have excelled in the second period this year, and we will face it off at center ice, as it turns out. Peters has outscored opponents 31-14 in the second period. Bethel Park by a 21-11 count. Jim McVeigh wants an explanation here as they set up at center ice. His Blackhawks still haven't lined up for the draw. Nick Guimond's all the way down to my left, the BP goalie. He's out on the top of his crease, ready to go. I apologize for the confusion. I wish I could tell you what's going on, but I don't know if anybody mic'd up downstairs. Well, they'll point to center ice, and that's typically where faceoffs go when there's no real category to put the stoppage in, which I would definitely classify that as a confusing situation. So after the inadvertent buzzer robbed the Blackhawks of a look, remember that one, if PT comes back, this will skitter down the ice for an icing call against the home team, the Indians. Jack Zakin unable to catch up to that one before it got to the line, the goal line, that is. In the two games between these two teams earlier this season, Peters Township outscored Bethel Park by a combined score of 9-2. But as I said, the game at Bethel Park was deceivingly close. If you looked at the final score, 4-1, you say, PT had it the whole way. But it was 2-1 for the longest time in the second period, and Alex Wilbert had to be dynamic, making 42 saves in all. Here comes McElhaney breaking free to shoot, and he put it right into the breadbasket of Guimond, and he hangs on at the top of his crease with 15:05 to go in the second period. A slow-moving game in the last few minutes. And for PT, down 2-0. I'm sure they don't mind that, but they just haven't had the quality or the quantity of chances they're used to getting. Here's J.C. Bell breaking ahead, but he's not going to be able to beat the goaltender Wilbert to that puck. That was nearly a perfectly executed face-off play from the Blackhawks, just banking it ahead to their big gun. Here's Luppy now. Speaking of big guns, he's in, and he's pulled down. It's going to be a penalty, a tripping call with Luppy drawing it, and the Indians will get power play number 3. The Indians want a penalty shot. They don't want the power play, but I think the ruling is going to be that Luppy never really had possession in a clear stride. He tapped it ahead, did Luppy, but he had to reach out for it. He was definitely tripped, so that's a good call. The defenseman Connor Price is headed off. BP to the penalty box for the third time tonight. And a good penalty if there ever was one, especially since the penalty shot wasn't awarded. So the Indians will send Mark Lehman out to take this draw with Ryan Luppy and Torrey Schwartz on the wings. Hunter Ferguson and Seth Hanna are the defensemen, and Lehman obliges and wins the draw. Hanna faking the shot. Seth Hanna, the senior defenseman, slips it down the wall to his classmate Ryan Luppy. Now Hanna slings it cross-rink to Ferguson. Put it to the middle. Schwartz shot. Score! Torrey Schwartz put it right along the ice and in. And it's 2-1 with 14:32 left to go in the second period. And you got to fight for your right to party. The Indians have a goal, and they have life here at home. Still plenty of time to go in this one. How about that pass from Hunter Ferguson? Incisive, right to the middle of the ice, and Schwartz touched it once and then ripped it. Low pass, Guimond for his 15th goal of the season, one shy of Luppy for the team lead. But here are the Blackhawks back to try to make it 3-1. Bouncing puck after the rebound, and Wilbert had to kick it out to the far side. Reed was hunting that one, as was George Tomko, who got the first chance. But here is Jack Zakin. Indians on the move here. Zakin shot it. I don't even think Guimond had to touch it as it sailed wide of the net. McElhaney rounding the goal. Put it off a stick, but it got to Alexander at the point. McElhaney's saucer pass, too hot to handle for Lee, but he gets it right back off the sideboard, Karam. Drew Wilbert fishing for it there in the skates of Jeremy Bueller. Here's Zakin poking it free. Jack Zakin working hard. Knocked it behind the net. Drew Wilbert on it. One of the 3 Wilbert brothers on the ice tonight. McElhaney pinned down by Reed. Good fight here in the offensive zone. Drew Wilbert shoots, but it was weakened on the way and deflected wide by McElhaney, who got his stick right at the point of attack there as Guimon tried to glove it down. So a power play goal for Torrey Schwartz as the Indians regroup at their own blue line. Aiden Alexander, head up, lost the puck a little bit in the snow there. The ice doesn't look great tonight for the record. Players are leaving it behind. You have to be pretty strong on your stick. Despite the cold evening, I thought that would lead to some really good ice, in fact, here tonight. Lehman on the steal. Drew Wilbert hops on it over by the kick plate on the far wing. Lehman tapped it around a man, centered it in front. Watsula, Nico Watsula shot it, and it's off of Guimon and up into the screen. Give Mark Lehman credit for generating some offense there. So the Indians now 1 for 3 on the power play after the Torrey Schwartz conversion, and it's 2-1 Bethel Park. 2 goals in the first for the Blackhawks, now 1 back here in the second for the Indians. This is Matt Geica live from Prince-Scape Arena in South Point for the biggest game of the year in Class AAA. Barrett's shot didn't get through. Blocked down shot, on the post, score! It's 2-2, and it's Nico Watsula chopping it in off the iron. He's going to break his rusty cage and run. Watsula has his 4th goal of the year. He's played in every game this season. And Watsula got to that loose puck just inside the right circle. We're all square with 12:48 left in the second period. Well, this one has been as advertised as the strains of Brass Bonanza play here at Prince-Scape. That's a new one. Luppy takes it, shoots it, save Guimon, rebound, it's scored! I think it was Schwartz who got a deflection, and it's 3-2 Indians. Schwartz and Camp were swarming. Silences the enemy. PT up by 1. And if it is Schwartz and he's celebrating like it's his 2nd goal of the game, 16th of the year. And we have a goalie change. Nick Guimon is out in a shocker here. Dominic Zavola checks in. So Zavola takes over. He's only started 1 game this season. He's only played in 3, and he hasn't seen action since the new year. So gutsy move here from Jim McVeigh, but he feels like his goaltender doesn't quite have it. Guimon coughed up that rebound, and Zavola just swatted that one dangerously to the side of his net. Eric Wilbert gets the assist on what I believe is the Schwartz goal, or pardon me, on the Watsula goal. They're still announcing the second one. The third one was scored so quickly. 2 goals in a matter of 20 seconds, give or take, have put the Peters Township Indians up 3-2, and boy, is this ever following the script from the regular season, where the Indians start slowly, and then the second and third belongs to them. A long way to go in this one, obviously, and they're playing the hottest team in the league, but this is what the Indians do this year. Maybe much to Coach Rick Tingle's chagrin. It's probably cost him a few minutes on the backside of his life, but his team has come through more often than not. Alexander gunned that one out of play inadvertently. Might have been off a Blackhawk stick. And in behind the high glass. 11:58 left in the second period. This one's heated up in a hurry. It's 3-2 Peters Township. But perhaps we should have expected some offensive fireworks from the 2 top scoring teams in AAA. Torrey Schwartz has a couple. Briefly fell behind in the Indians' goal-scoring race, with Ryan Luppy getting 6 in his past 3. But now Schwartz is back in the groove, and now just 2 behind Wyatt George of Mount Lebo for the top spot in Class AAA. And Schwartz does get the goal on the official announcement here. Ryan Luppy gets the primary assist. John Camp the secondary. Goal came at 12:20 to go in the period, so the 2 goals came 28 seconds apart, just to clarify. Vituccio tries to nudge this one to the front. Wilbert down on one knee. Watches that with a wary eye, but the Indians do clear. McElhaney shoves it down in the direction of the new goaltender for Bethel Park, Zavola. Jack Zakin hopping on that loose puck in that far corner. Swirls it around to the near side, trying to get the cycle game going. Ferguson shot it off a stick. That was McClendon, Ryan McClendon, who deflected it over to the corner, and the Blackhawks send it out to neutral ice. And again, a shot into that small area between the glass and the concrete wall that separates the rink from the restaurant that you see there beyond the far side of the ice. Now Bubba's Burgers. Great place to eat, by the way. I'll give it a cheap plug, a free plug here. Jeffrey Poon, after the draw, controlled by Peters Township in center ice. Lehman slipped it past the defender, Jacob Lang, who has to chase back for it with Watsula providing the forward-checking pressure, and Watsula ends up with it in the corner. Watsula has a goal in this period. Tied the game just moments ago before Schwartz put the Indians ahead and chased Nick Guimone. Reed ushers this puck out to center, and it hops off his body and into the Peters Township bench. 10:41 remaining in the second period. Play bogs down again. Plenty of face-offs so far in this game, in addition to the 5 goals and the 3 penalties, all to Bethel Park so far. Wouldn't have had that coming in. Both teams don't take a lot of penalties. Camp hopping ahead, takes his own face-off win, wanted to deke to the middle, but that was thwarted there. And cleared by BP's Garrett Legg. But right back in the possession of Ryan Lee and the Indians. Lee overtaken at center ice. Thomas Wooster shot it on the near side, and it'll go too far for Bell to catch up to in time. It's an icing call. No other AAA games tonight. Last night, North Allegheny kept its hat in the ring here to win the regular season title by defeating Butler. The Golden Tornado have had a rough go here in the second half of the season. Bethel Park beat him. North Allegheny beat him. Peters Township beat him. And those are the top 3 teams, of course, in the league. But Butler falling by the wayside here and in danger of having to play in that play-in game just to get to the quarterfinals to start the Penguins Cup playoffs. Luppy, the high toss in the direction of the BP net. It's hand passed ahead by the defenseman Ryan McClendon. That's the reason for the whistle. Came close to closing his hand on the puck, too. So Vituccio will have to take this draw. The Bethel Park captain, Vituccio, one of 6 Blackhawks who have played in all 18 games this season. The Indians have just 3 Iron Men, Barrett, Watsula, and Ryan Lee. Joseph Wondrisco stops on a dime here in the corner. He's swarmed under, and Ryan Luppy takes over and headmans it to John Camp. Cutting against the grain is Camp. 5 goals on the year. Camp spun it back in front for Luppy and just a hair ahead of his outstretched stick. Nearly creating some magic where Camp and Luppy, 2 elusive forwards to say the least. Hanna sends it right back into the offensive zone, but taking it there is Bethel Park's Masseri. Masseri's headman pass finds its intended receiver. That was Vituccio, but he shot it right into the pads of Wilbert, and now a confrontation at the top of the Peters Township crease between Vituccio and I want to say that's Seth Hanna. It is. The 2 young men are separated with 9.5 to go in the second period, and Peters Township ahead 3-2. The Indians trailed 2-0. Surprise, surprise. They've come out roaring in the second period, as they have so often. The aggregate score in the second period this year now is 34-14 in favor of Peters Township. Big hit from Parker Johnson gets the Indians bench up and cheering, but here's Reed shooting wide of the crossbar and wide of the head of Alex Wilbert, who almost ducked out of the way of that one. Colin DiNardo hacking and whacking and unable to clear it past Adam Slater at the point. So back for it to fish it out is Hunter Ferguson. He stumbled down but still got it to Parker Johnson. Johnson takes a bump, made the play behind his net. Ferguson bounds it out to the line. DiNardo helps it ahead. A little too far for Parker Johnson, but no icing here. Connor Price pinned by Johnson. Charging up into the offensive zone is Seekley for PT. Now nudged over to Ferguson center point. He sends it right back in below the goal line to Johnson. Returns it out to Alexander. His shot redirected wide of the goaltender Zavola, who didn't appear to know where it was until it skipped right past him. Seekley turns, gets it back on the friendly bounce. Seekley got around Reed. His backhand to the front was denied. Hops right over to an Indian, though, and it's Drew Wilbert. Aiden Alexander had his pass intercepted by Connor Price, who sends it down to safety. 8.25 to go in the second period. Indians by 1. Winner take all. If this one ends in regulation, it's winner take all. Alexander stepping up. Toss in the direction of Drew Wilbert from behind the net. The junior puts it to the side of the goal. Zakin curls a pass to the front. Nifty little play, but it was intercepted and taken away. Wilbert keeps it in the offensive zone, though. It's McElhaney. Defender on his back. That's Slater. Long shift for Slater. He's been out here for a while. J.C. Bell trying to help it out into the neutral zone. Bell, who scored a scintillating breakaway goal to start this one, just shot that in on the dump and chase. Alexander collides there on the far corner with Thomas Wooster. Joseph Wandrisco joins the fray. 7.5 to go in the second period. Drew Wilbert makes a good dish. Finds McElhaney, who reaches out to lasso it in. He'll flip it into this near corner and chase in after it himself. Lays the check, does McElhaney. Big sophomore winger. Now Lee to Zakin. Gunned it off of a foot. But it bounced right back to Jack Zakin. Little relay to Lee. Couldn't get it to the front. It's taken away in front. Legg. Garrett Legg maneuvering on back. Took the shot against the grain, and it's gloved by Wilbert. And he melts it down. 6:59 remaining in the second period. 2 goals in this second for Torrey Schwartz, 1 for Nico Watsula. That's helped the Indians put together a 3-goal rally to this point and take the lead 3-2. PT in the white, Bethel Park in the orange. Eric Wilbert, long shot, and it appeared to surprise Zavola as he gloved it down. Boy, tough assignment for Zavola, biggest game of the year, and he comes in relief. Hasn't played a league game since back before Christmas. Poon couldn't get it any further than the blue line, so now he looks on as his defense partner Ryan Lee has to battle there against Luke McClendon. 2 McClendons on the ice for Bethel Park, 3 Wilberts for Peters Township. I'll try to be clear as to who it is whenever I can. On cue, here's Eric Wilbert charging ahead. He wants to knock it into the middle for Watsula as he laid out headlong, but couldn't make it happen. McClendon, Ryan McClendon, clicking ahead with a pass here to Vituccio. Vituccio shot it off the pad of Wilbert, hops loose in the slot, but Barrett swings it away from danger and out to center. Taken on now by Connor Price. Price gave it right back to the Indians and Ryan Lee, who's knocked down by Vituccio. Vituccio charges past Barrett. Vituccio in the corner, looks over his options, center for Tomko, and it's off the body of Wilbert and wide. Good save. And what do we have? The puck went out of play, off a partition, and one of the Blackhawks is crawling to get his stick. That's Vituccio, who made that pass initially out of the corner. Really a wonderful play from Vituccio to create something when Ryan Lee was charging at him. And that's an intimidating sight with number 62 turning it north. Lee, one of the bigger bodies in the PIHL. Luppy can't get this one out. He's run down. Loose puck. And it's Reed getting to it below the goal line. Put it in front. Tomko. Score! George Tomko on the nifty pass from Reed, and it's 3-all with 5:36 left in the second. And as you can hear, the Blackhawks have brought a healthy cheering contingent with them. Down to my right, Tomko from Reed, and we're tied again. For George Tomko, his 5th goal of the season, and unless my eyes deceive me on the play, I think Reed intentionally banked that off the side of the net to create the angle. And if so, big-time stick tap to him. What a play. Reed to Tomko, who slid it just inside the right post to tie this one up. This one's probably going down to the wire. You had to expect that coming in. Not exactly 1 versus 2. North Allegheny's in first right now, but the Tigers are out of games. If either of these teams wins in regulation, they are the regular season champs. McElhaney didn't see that pass come through skates until it was too late, and so it's an icing here after Drew Wilbert tried to find him just beyond center red. Even strength goal for Bethel Park and Tomko. Reed and Tomko were supporting players in that 10-1 win for Bethel Park last week at home against Mount Lebo that put them in this position. Drew Wilbert pulls it out of a crowd. He dumps it cross corner. McElhaney can't get there first. On this near side, Ferguson charges down the wall to keep it alive and help the Indians try to create something. McElhaney lost control. J.C. Bell breaking in, cutting back, shooting, and that's deflected and wide of the net. Put right in front of the goal again by Garrett Legg, and now taken away by Drew Wilbert. Down to 4.5 to go in the second period. 3-all between Peters Township and Bethel Park. Thanks for tuning in on Pittsburgh Hockey Digest and PTCT 7. Wilbert looks behind as Alexander finds that loose puck behind him. Alexander to Ferguson, right back to Aiden Alexander. The senior, 3 assists on the year. This is 16th game. Eventually found a man off the carom, Zakin, but he couldn't get it all the way behind the Bethel Park goal line. Down to 4 to play in the second period. Long shot taken by Vituccio, booted out by Wilbert. To the far corner. Drew Wilbert gave it away and shot back in behind the net. It deflects out to this near side half wall. Seekley, the dish, clicks off the stick of DiNardo, who chases after it full tilt. Colin DiNardo looking for his first point of his senior season. Not going to happen on that play, but now it's intercepted by Johnson. Put it in the middle for DiNardo, but it's in his skates, and he couldn't handle it. And then it was broken up by Bethel Park. Barrett shoves it ahead, delayed offside. Indians have to tag up. Poon gloved it down, put it to his stick, just inside his own blue line, makes the safe play, puts some loft on it, and gets it off the window and out. Getting close to 3 minutes to go in the second period. And the second intermission ice cut, which will be much welcomed here tonight. Ice is getting chippy. Deflecting it ahead, Chris Toth. Barrett beats him to the puck. Owen Barrett on his forehand. Couldn't clear. Shot off a body by Jeremy Bueller and into the far corner. Holding onto it there, the defenseman Ryan McClendon. And it's offside. It did just bounce out over the blue line and put right back in by the Blackhawks. 2:47 left in the second period. 4 goals combined in the second period, 3 for Peters Township, 1 for Bethel Park. Both teams come into this game with 13 wins. The difference, PT has the 1 overtime loss to give them an extra point in the standings. That's why PT can say, yeah, we can go to overtime, we can go to a shootout. As long as we win, we'll be able to raise another banner, so to speak. Watsula on the chase here. Slows down, takes the bump from Bueller. Play tied up. Lehman backs off, doesn't like what he saw. Watsula returns it out to the point. Lee tees it up and shot. Score, but no. It's deflected in with a high stick. Eric Wilbert just barely had that blade above the crossbar. And Lee gives him a fist bump nonetheless. Good effort, but Wilbert just shaking his head, knowing that, yeah, that's the right call, even though he got in the way and redirected that one perfectly past the backup goaltender, Dominic Zavola. And since it was a high stick, it'll return the faceoff all the way back in the Peters Township zone. So insult to injury there. In a 3-3 game, 2:14 left in the second. So call it a disallowed goal if you want. But that was never going to count, according to the 2 officials here. Price shot off the outside of the net. Price got a lot on that one, and we have a penalty coming up. A penalty to Peters Township, I believe, and it will be against the home team. Touching it up, Torrey Schwartz just inside his blue line. Hooking is the call, and it goes against Ryan Lee. For the first time tonight, Peters Township will be shorthanded. 2:02 remaining in the second period, so they'll spend the rest of this frame short. They hope they will, because that'll mean they've killed it off and not conceded the go-ahead goal. Bethel Park's power play on the season, 3rd out of 9 teams. The 24% conversion rate, 11 for 46. Peters Township, I mentioned the PK's been good lately. They've now allowed just 8 goals and 46 chances all season. That's 3rd best as well. And it's Lupio. He couldn't get it past Ryan McClendon. If he had, he would have been home free for a shorthanded break. Now Luppy looks back as it's cleared down by Aiden Alexander, the Indians' penalty killer. Good start to the PK for PT. So Lee in the box for hooking, late stages second period. 3-3 is your score. Ryan McClendon's backhand finds an Indian there on the far side, not as intended. And it's Alexander getting a second chance to clear, and he does shovel it down on his backhand side. This is J.C. Bell slamming on the brakes behind his net. Bell has a goal tonight to give him 14 on the year, 32 total points for the top scorer in the division. Luke McClendon takes the drop pass. Couldn't get past Lehman with possession, though, and it's Mark Lehman on it, and he sends it down with a pitchfork move. 1 minute to go in the second. PT short for the first time tonight. The Indians, by the way, have 5 shorthanded goals this season, but here's a look now for Reed on the rush. Reed shoots, pad save, rebound. Oh, Wilbert made that stop too. And J.C. Bell can't believe it. It was his chance there on the rebound, and he couldn't lift it over the pad of Wilbert, who stretched with that right leg to kick it out. 46.9 seconds left in the second. That's Wilbert's best save easily in this game. Lehman to face it off against Reed. Reed won it. Wondrisco gave it back to the point. Shot in behind the net. Ferguson ripped it around the window. Taken there by Chris Toth. Back to the point. Wooster shot. Save made. And Alexander tried to shoot it out. And it bounced off the body of Wondrisco and over the glass. So that'll be a clear effectively with 32 seconds left in the second. Reed again on the draw, this time against Torrey Schwartz as the Indians go offensive here late in the penalty kill. It's Schwartz and Luppy out there alongside Barrett and Hanna, the defenseman. Schwartz taps it into the middle. Luppy played it off the stick of Bell, and it hops all the way back in front of the Bethel Park net. 20 seconds to go in the period, 16 left on the power play. Bell makes Schwartz miss, then he gets past Luppy. J.C. Bell wants to go all the way. His shot is deflected by Barrett and into the screen. Ends up on top of the net, but after it had gone out of play, 10 seconds remaining in the second. Maybe one more chance off this draw for Bethel Park to try to get the go-ahead goal. Lee waiting impatiently in the box. He's standing up, ready to go for Peters Township. Off the face-off, Bell, sharp angle, wanted to drag it with himself right to the front of the net, and it ends up there, but Luppy gets on it and sends it down the ice, and time will run out before the icing whistle. So that's that for the second period. PT scores 3 times to take the lead, but Bethel Park strikes back with the equalizer, Tomko, with 5.5 remaining in that frame. We'll get the Zambonis out here and bring it on back for what will surely be a thrilling conclusion to this one. Peters Township 3, Bethel Park 3, with the regular season AAA title on the line tonight in South Point. I'm Matt Geico. We shall return for the third and maybe more after this break. Back on the call here from Printscape Arena in South Point. 3-3 is your score going into the third period. Doesn't get much better than that. Bethel Park and Peters Township playing off essentially for the regular season title with a plot twist. North Allegheny, currently sitting in first place, would win a 3-way tie for the top. And the only way we get that is if Bethel Park wins in overtime or a shootout, thus giving PT 1 point and Bethel Park 2. Any other result, and the winner from this game will take the regular season title and the subsequent number 1 seed in the Penguins Cup playoffs. So here we go. We apologize for the feed cutting out late in the second period, but you didn't miss any goals. You did miss a great save from Alex Wilbert on a rebound, denying J.C. Bell, Bethel Park's top scorer, the top scorer in the entire league. That came with about a minute to go in the second period. Here's Ryan Lee shooting, deflected, save by Zavola, loose puck, McElhaney, score! McElhaney had time to dust it off and lift it past the sprawling Zavola in the opening minute of the third period. PT leads it 4-3. You gotta have high hopes for a living McElhaney. His fourth. The sophomore, the only sophomore on this squad. And he gets swarmed on the bench. Still a long way to go in this one. as I'm sure Coach Rick Tingle is reminding his team, but hey, they're allowed to celebrate. McElhaney pops it in after Lee shot it from the point, and PT has the start to the third period that it was looking for, and the Indians have their second lead of this game. Bethel Park has to go on the comeback again. Wilbert blockers away this shot from Wondrisco. On the chase here, Vituccio bumped into an Indian. Wondrisco shot it, but he missed the target wide. From the right point, Lang fed it down the wall, given away, and shot off a body in front. That appeared to be Aiden Alexander who blocked the try from Luke McClendon. Now McClendon finds Vituccio. Oh, he had a man going to that Wondrisco, but he tried a bit of an unrealistic behind-the-back pass, and it didn't come close. Jack Zakin gets an assist on the goal, too, so it's Zakin and Lee on the helpers. On the go-ahead goal for Dylan McElhaney. I thought he might shoot on the backhand, but he went to the forehand, and he knew what he was doing because he got off a strong shot. Now cutting to shoot against Wilbert is Chris Toth, and he's denied. Toth running the gauntlet there and getting right to the doorstep, or close enough, but Wilbert had the angle covered, and he telescoped out to the top of his crease to cut down the shooting space. So Dylan McElhaney scores. And this one's fed out to center by Mark Lehman, the Indians center. Shot out of play off of Bethel Park's stick. Bethel Park had the first two of this game, Bell and Bueller. In the first period, it was 2-0 after one. But then PT scored 3 goals in the span of 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Schwartz, Watsula, and Schwartz again. And here's Watsula trying to one-hand a pass ahead to Wilbert. That's Eric Wilbert. Didn't get through, but Lehman follows up in his wake. Poon's shot off the skate of Zavola. And yes, Dominic Zavola is in net, not Nick Guimon, who was replaced after allowing the third goal. A rebound score that Schwartz flicked over his shoulder. Bethel Park coach Jim McVeigh didn't like what he saw, and he went to Zavola. Wilbert left it behind. Barrett has to feed in from the neutral zone. Jeffrey Poon clicks it off the wall, taking it there. On the regroup is Watsula, but he flipped it past Mark Lehman. 4-3 Peters Township now. Early stages, third period. Barrett, cross the ring delivery, intercepted. Wooster has some room, shot it, but it's right into the chest, right into the Indian crest on the jersey of Alex Wilbert, the junior goalie. Wilbert making his 10th start of the season tonight. He made 10, as it turns out. Brock Sharbaugh made 8. Wilbert now has started 7 of 10. So if I had to guess, I think Rick Tingle's going to go with the man who helped him win the state championship 2 years ago. Maybe a 2-on-1 ahead now. Here come the Indians on the quick break. Drew Wilbert made the pass across. Here's a backhand score! It's McElhaney again! Dylan McElhaney has a deuce in the opening 2.5 minutes of the third period, and the Indians lead by 2. Off the pass from Drew Wilbert. McElhaney, a cold-blooded move to the backhand. Wild horses run faster. PT 5, Bethel Park 3. Dylan McElhaney has the first 2-goal game of his varsity career, and what a time for it. 2 goals, 2 minutes apart, almost exactly. Both at even strength. And how about the dish from Drew Wilbert? He needed to put it through a tight window, and he did just that. Now it's Colin DiNardo. Can he create something here? But he couldn't get through the firm checking that he ran into on the far side from Connor Price. On the chase, here's Parker Johnson. Colin DiNardo too, but they couldn't get to the puck. Vituccio jammed it down the wall, unable to feed it past Seth Hanna. Here's Lee taking the shoot in from Bethel Park. Ryan Lee, pass too hard for Seekley to take, and it's an icing call against the Indians with 13:49 to go in the third period. 5-3 Peters Township. They have scored 5 of the last 6. Where have we heard that story before? This is not just a third period team, it's a second and a third period team. And what do you know? Now the Indians have 34 goals in the second period and 34 goals in the third period on the season here in game 18 of 18 in the regular year. It's been PT's division, in the second half. Maybe a questionable check on that far side, but play continues on. Chris Toth skates away from it unscathed. John Camp tried to fire a pass to the middle. Didn't get through. Good backtracking by Toth. It's getting heated out there now. Connor Price laid a bit of an elbow into Alexander, so one questionable hit to either side, but neither one penalized in the last half minute. Alexander having some trouble pucking his skates. Lost it to Vituccio. Tried to find Tomko in front, but it didn't connect. Now Wooster gives it back to the point. Deflected play in front, and Wilbert has to swat it away. It all started with Jacob Lang just putting that into the blender. Alexander clears off the boards. Pulled in by Price. Does a little curly-cue at center. Runs right through John Camp, who staggers off to the PT bench. Luppy rips one cross rink. Too hard for Lehman to take, or anyone to take for that matter. That's an icing call. And that'll drag the face-off back. Indians by 2, but they shouldn't feel safe with this Bethel Park offense coming in humming. The Blackhawks scored 10 last week against Mount Lebo. 2 weeks ago, they downed Cathedral Prep 5-3. 3 weeks ago, they beat Butler 5-2. That's 20 goals in their previous 3 games. In case you couldn't add that up quickly. That's what I'm here for. Lehman, the give around the wood, but now it's taken on by Bethel Park's Sean Merkel. Haven't seen a lot of him. He couldn't get that shot through. It was partially blocked. Into the near corner. Jeffrey Poon cracks it around the boards. Watsula couldn't get there in time. Fed right through the top of the crease from Garrett Legg out by the blue line. Lehman, good defensive play just to ship it ahead. On the retrieval, Ryan McClendon for Bethel Park. He sees Eric Wilbert right in front of him, so he stops and now feeds right past Wilbert to Chris Toth. Unable to hook up on that pass. Down the wing, looking for Merkel. From behind the net. Behind the back centering feed, intercepted by Lehman. Lehman's got a couple of men ahead. He wants to find Watsula, but Watsula just got a piece of it as he chases in after it. Eric Wilbert now, and we have a slashing penalty coming up behind the play, way behind the play. And I think it's against Peters Township. That one hurts. Not what you want to do, leading by 2. But Barrett heads off. Owen Barrett penalized for slashing with 11:48 to go in the third. PT about to be shorthanded for the second time tonight. They're 1 for 1 on the penalty kill. Just a garden variety 2-minute penalty, but one that the Indians surely didn't want to take. And I never saw it. I was watching the puck up ahead, as I'm sure most people were in the building, but not the referee Brian Buckholtz who blew the whistle. Brian Buckholtz and Eddie Schultz, your 2 men in stripes tonight, calling the lines in addition to the penalties. Hardest working men in the building tonight. Tomko fed it on a cross. Open man there. McClendon shot. Saved by Wilbert. Loose puck. And able to be cleared by Schwartz. It's still behind the net. Tomko had the most recent Bethel Park goal to tie it at 3 late in the second. Luke McClendon back to Ryan McClendon. Ripped it off a leg. Ryan McClendon back at the point. Wanted a one-time, it gave it away. Luppy charges ahead. Shorthanded are the Indians. Luppy has Schwartz going to the goal. Got it to him, and he scored! The hat trick! Tip your cap to Torrey Schwartz. He's given the Indians a 6-3 lead on the shorthand on the pass from Luppy. I don't want to say that did it, but it's put PT in a great position, and a couple of hats go flying on the ice. Schwartz from Luppy with 10:59 left in the third, and it's a 3-goal spread. The Indians have 6 of the last 7. How about that finish from Schwartz? The pass was deflected. It didn't get through to him as quickly as Luppy would have wanted, but Schwartz put it right under the crossbar. He stuck it into the roof of the net. That's what goal scorers do. For Schwartz, his 3rd of the game, 17th of the year. He's making a run at that goal-scoring title in Class AAA. Look out, Wyatt George. You have Torrey Schwartz just 1 goal on your tail suddenly. A couple of weeks ago, it looked like George was going to wrap that thing up. A shorthanded goal for PT. They have 1 on the power play, 1 shorthanded, and forward even strength. And it's broken up. Here comes Lehman, but he couldn't get through. Connor Price, who said, "Oh, no, you don't." Just inside the Bethel Park line. For once, Mark Lehman doesn't get his way in an open ice rush situation. Mark that down. Alexander fed it over to Ferguson, who clears down the ice. It's still a Bethel Park power play, by the way. But the Blackhawks are in big trouble now. Down 3. 2 odd man rush goals to extend the lead from 1-3 here early. In the third, a shot off the post from Wooster. What a chance there. He pulled it inside, did Wooster, and wrung iron. Back to Wooster at the point. He holds, waits, and fed it right past the outstretched glove of Alexander. From behind the net, it's Reed trying to center it. It's broken up, and the Indians are back to full strength. Owen Barrett's out of the box. 6-3 Peters Township. The Indians are 9.5 minutes away from a regular season title. Alexander, head up, finds Wilbert, and now it's all about smart hockey, you'd think, for the home team. But easier said than done. The way the goals are going in lately, I'm sure there's going to be a bit of a lean forward here. And what's this? An offside call. I think it was a delayed offside. And the Indians failed to tag up and clear the zone. So let's recap here in the third. Dylan McElhaney scored a pair of goals 2 minutes apart to put the Indians up 5-3. The first one, a rebound chance off of an extended offensive zone possession. Man, you just can't hold this Indians offense down. They didn't look good in the first period. I should know by now not to judge them by the first period. They were even sluggish early in the second, but they got that power play goal from Schwartz, and the way Torrey celebrated that one, it's like he knew it was going to be a big one. Here's a rebound chance for Vituccio off Bell's shot, and he shot it over the net, did Vituccio. Bell pumped it off the pads of Wilbert, and Vituccio had an open goal for a split second, but then bodies flew in front. Now Vituccio swinging it right to the front of the net, and it skips past Tomko to the corner. Vituccio behind the back feed looking for Bell. Feels like a long time ago that J.C. Bell scored the opening goal on a breakaway. An awesome move. A deke to create the space, and then a backhand stash through the 5-hole of Wilbert. It was 2-0 Bethel Park, and BP tied it 3-3 going into the third, but right now it's 6-3. John Camp, now Ferguson, or pardon me, Johnson. Johnson got it deep. Now Johnson on the forecheck here, lays the check on Ryan McClendon, but the puck went right past him. Charging forward here, Connor Price gets his compass pointed north. Connor Price now bumped by Hanna in behind the net. Price, big body, he can move. Impressive carry into the offensive zone there, but Seekley bumps into a Blackhawk, and the puck comes loose to Johnson. In over the offensive blue line, he has DiNardo going to the net, but his pass was a little bit away from him. DiNardo was checked effectively by Price, who got back. Still hustling is Connor Price, despite his team down 3 with now 7:40 left in regulation time. PT looking for win number 14 on the year. Ryan Lee slips it down the wall. From the near side, dasher board, Lee again. Shooting off the post behind Zavola, who gathers it in and holds on after that nervous moment. A win for PT would best last season's win total, which was good enough for the regular season championship. If you see across the ice, there are some red banners at center ice. 9 of them for regular season titles in PT's boys hockey history. This would be number 10, and their 5th this decade. Their 5th since 2010. This program has become a real powerhouse. Watsula to Alexander. Puts it deep lane in. Watsula's open, closes and shoots. And Zavola closes it down. Big save there to at least give Bethel Park an outside chance at a comeback. Two goals for McElhaney, 3 for Schwartz. I'm still tallying up the assists. 2 assists for Luppy at least. He'll keep his point lead on the team, it appears, with 25. And the Indians doing all this tonight without, the services of their leading point getter. Jeremy Anthos not in the lineup. No number 81. Just the 4th game he's missed this season. McClendon cruising in. That's Ryan McClendon. Couldn't get the shot through. Alexander hops on the loose puck. Aiden Alexander has 2 men ahead, but he just gave it away to the line. You might see some more of those just safe plays. Not wanting to turn the puck over in the neutral zone, are the Indians now ahead 6-3 with 6.5 left Wondrisco has the puck poked away by Lehman. Lehman's with Watsula here. Watsula curls and eventually works his way over the offensive line. Watsula grinds to a halt there behind the net. Eric Wilbert canceled out of the play. Wondrisco looks and backhands far side. Tomko couldn't take it. Poon stepped in the way. Jeffrey Poon, one of over a dozen seniors honored last Sunday here at the Princecape Arena. Senior night was a scrimmage game, if you will, against Meadville, as the Indians had that late bye week. McElhaney, he's bidding for the hat trick here tonight. Wouldn't be something if it was a double hat trick tonight. In the biggest game of the year, Bethel Park, the Blackhawks haven't lost since December. They're probably in a state of shock at the moment, remembering what that feels like. And they were in position tonight, but with 5:44 left now, this puck out of play, they have it all to do. They'll need 3 in the final 6 minutes, less than 6 minutes now, to even force overtime. And remember, they needed a regulation win to win the regular season championship. So I guess that they need 4 when it all comes down to it. That's how big that Torrey Schwartz shorthanded goal was moments ago. Connor Price on the retrieval. Taking the puck here, Wooster. Couldn't get past McElhaney. Again, the puck sits back and sticky on this ice tonight, even after the resurfacing just about 20 minutes ago. Hanna lifts it off the glass. Down it goes. Zakin's on the chase. Price will win that race. Zakin content to keep Price in front of him. Price reverses it. That was Jacob Lang. Up to center. Now Wooster couldn't get the pass through. Wilbert on the takeaway. That was Drew Wilbert, and Drew Wilbert is there on the forecheck here. Just a one-man effort at the moment. The Indians are changing. Back behind the play. J.C. Bell using that free hand to protect the puck. As he skates in, gets to his own dump in, made the pass out to McClendon. Couldn't get the shot through Luppy. McClendon broke his stick, but he'll get some help there from Bueller breaking back to tap it away from Luppy. Here's Camp galloping forward, but the Indians are offside with 4:33 left in the third. The Penguins Cup playoffs begin next week. Both of these teams will have a great chance to advance as they'll be hosting games. If Bethel Park loses in regulation, as it appears that it will, then the Blackhawks will be the 3rd seed, but they'll take on the 6th seed in 2 weeks. The Indians will host, well, apparently the winner of the play-in game in 2 weeks' time, 2 weeks from tonight, 9 o'clock start from here at Princecape. Just to keep in mind, so PT will have another week off. That'll be 2 off weeks in the last 3 this season. The challenge will be for Rick Tingle to keep his team sharp. Gloving the puck down, Ryan McClendon shooting around the kick plate. But no problem there to pick it off the wall for Hunter Ferguson. To Aiden Alexander, right back to Ferguson. Rips it up the far side and out it goes. This will be an icing, but PT not particularly upset about that right now. 3:49 to go in the third period. Again, this is Matt Geica with you. It's been my pleasure to be with you all season long. Another exciting year of not just Peters Township hockey, obviously. It's going to be another regular season championship, it appears, but also to see the entire PIHL, to go on the road. Thanks to all the Peters Township students who have gone to the various rinks around the region. We saw the Barrel Complex in Warrendale a couple of times, the Mount Lebo Ice Complex, the Spencer Family YMCA at Bethel Park, of course, back in early December. One of the more competitive games of the year there. And we did a radio broadcast, a couple of them. One at Alpha in Harmerville and one at Frozen Pond in Valencia. Empty net for Bethel Park. This one's trickling down and in. And it's Parker Johnson who'll get credit for it. Johnson, with the help of a puck hopping on edge and making a right turn as it trickled over the goal line, and that'll do it. A 7th goal for Peters Township with 3:40 left in regulation. BP battled all night, but it's not going to be enough here this evening. Their 8-game win streak will come to an end, and Peters Township is just moments away from putting another year over there on that division title side of their three-pronged banner. On the left it says division titles, on the right it's Penguins Cup championships, and on the middle bolt of fabric, if you will, it is the Pennsylvania State championships that they've accrued here. Big collision at center ice. Hanna ran right through Vituccio. 7-3 Peters Township offside Indians breaking in over the blue line. Well, there are 6 Penguins Cup championships claimed by this program, most recently in 2017, and 5 state champions that have been honored there on that far side of the ice. Penguins Cup is the next goal, as for all intents and purposes, this one has been put away. McElhaney, the soft toss down the ice, no icing, perfectly placed. Maybe you should try a career in curling. That was beautiful. Reed can't take the lead pass for Bethel Park. Barrett slips it right back in behind the goal. Dominic Zavola looks over his shoulder. Zavola did not start this game for Bethel Park, but he will finish it appears, for Jim McVeigh. Tomko put it off the skate of Ryan McClendon. McClendon shot it deep. Alex Wilbert got a goal stick to it. Now it's his brother Drew, leaving it there for Owen Barrett, who clears to center ice. 2:22 to go in the third period. Final game of the regular season for both teams. Reed wanted to lay a check on Poon, but Poon sidestepped him. The Indians bench eats that up. No icing here, as now it's Jacob Lang. He hears the directive of wheel from his teammates. That means skate it around, and he did. And eventually the puck does find its way to center. J.C. Bell, does he have some magic left in him? Shoots one high off Wilbert. Loose puck as Price broke in but couldn't backhand it into the twine. Zakin checking hard against Bell. Good battle there, but Bell wins the puck. Bell scored the first goal in this game. But now it's 7-3 Peters Township. Indians with 15 goals in their last 2 games of the regular year. No empty netter anymore as McElhaney clears this down. Zavola's in his net. This will be icing anyway with 1:30 remaining in the third. So I would suggest, if I may, to check out Pittsburgh Hockey Digest or berghockey.com for short for all the coverage of the upcoming PIHL Penguins Cup playoffs. Brian Mitchell's been all over all the playoff permutations and still plenty to go as this regular season winds down this week. Still some games left. After tonight, this is our last broadcast on Facebook Live. Wilbert makes the save on the turning drive from Wooster here. And we'll have the Penguins Cup playoffs covered. We're hoping to get together a roundtable discussion as well, and I'll hope to be part of that. This will be another icing call, and again, Bethel Park has pulled its goalie. As I mentioned, they need a regulation win, so I guess no harm in exposing themselves to another goal against. 1:09 left in the third. But long story short, Berg Hockey's got you covered. The best coverage of PIHL hockey and the local amateur hockey scene from youth all the way up to local colleges. It's at berghockey.com. Another clear down the ice and another icing as this game is grinding to a halt with 1:01 left in the third. I don't believe I mentioned Parker Johnson's goal was his second of his senior season, second of his varsity career. I don't think Johnson was trying to score, but that's how it ended up. Jack Zakin to face it off here against Garrett Legg. PT in the white, Bethel Park in the orange and black. Under 1 minute to go in this game. John Camp's up ahead. He goes for the empty net and he missed it. But he was ahead of center red, so no icing here. We'll play on. Bell hops on it behind his net. Bell's a 200-foot player. He had to be there to prevent another empty net goal. The puck's flicked down by Hunter Ferguson. Just about a half minute to go, and this will be an icing back the other way. A long lead pass does not connect to J.C. Bell. And thanks again to all the folks who were watching tonight. Just see some of the comments. Nick Malenka, Susan Schneider, Sherry Lynn Cochran, Laura Gigush. I tried my best on that last name. bringing you the third period live from South Point. Johnson returns it to the line. Lee's shot. Zavola has it somewhere in his equipment. 26 seconds left. And these two teams will wait for the playoff matchups to shake out by the end of this week. Bethel Park about to finish a strong regular season at 13-5. PT will wrap it up at 14-3-1. One last shoot in here for Bethel Park. The Blackhawks are offside. They have to tag up. The Indians score 7 of the last 9 goals tonight. They overcome a 2-0 deficit. And for the 10th time in their history, the 5th time this decade, and the 2nd consecutive season, the Peters Township Indians are regular season champions in the PIHL Class AAA. Congratulations to them. Indians win. Indians win by the final score of 7-3. They wrap up their regular season home schedule at 8-2. And the handshake is on at center ice after the Indians congratulate themselves on a heck of an effort once again this year. For one more time in the regular season, they came back and dominated the second and the third periods, outscoring Bethel Park 7-1 after the first period tonight. Incredible stuff. They keep doing it. We'll see if they can keep doing it in the playoffs. Like I mentioned, I don't know if they want to keep up the slow start thing. Quality opponents will be awaiting them as the playoffs continue on. But for right now, they can celebrate, and so can all the Indians fans watching at home. Also, congrats to Bethel Park. What a close to the regular season. BP's 8-game win streak is over, but the Blackhawks went into the playoffs as the 3rd seed after their second half surge. North Allegheny finishes 2nd, by the way. Any of those top 3 seeds could easily win this Class AAA Penguins Cup tournament that's upcoming. One last time, for the regular season at least, this is Matt Geica saying good night and goodbye for now. From Prince-Cape Arena at South Point, Torrey Schwartz the hat trick. Dylan McElhaney gets the game-winning goal early in the third period. PT scores 4 in the third to win it 7-3. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks' time as the Penguins Cup playoffs begin from South Point. Good night.